Hello, my name is Warren Kinley. This video is a follow-on from part 1, installing and configuring Nodinite. Part 2 moves on to setting default behavior for the installation. So we'll just run through each option there, maybe what settings we can configure. After completing part 1, installing and configuring Nodinite, we'll reach step 8, which is set default behavior. Let's move through the installation, see what options we get next. Click the button here. So the next page is giving us the option to add an administrator. I'm logged in currently as myself. NodSys, we already added NodSys as the admin previous step. So let's go ahead and add myself as an administrator too. And there is also an extra option here for Active Directory. You can also use the Active Directory. But let's go ahead now and click Next, and we can configure some basic settings. Next. As we can see here, first of all, it's going to check the logging service. So we've got status of stopped, so we'll click Start up the service. Wait for that to start up. Okay, running status and an online connection. It's given us some information about the actual log database, so we've retrieved some information. And a database status as well of OK. So again, the same for the monitoring service. We've got currently stopped, so we'll click to start. And we've got a next button at the bottom here. And now we have everything installed that is required using the default behaviors. So I think the next step now is maybe to run through some of those default settings and see, just maybe mentioned a couple of things that you may want to set up and change either today or in the near future. But let's click on part 2 of the install and configuration. So we've got a few system parameters here that we can set. To get to the system parameters, there's a button at the top here for your instance. First one here that it mentions is the log database settings and size to split database on, which can be found at the bottom here. We have a default of 31. Up to the list, we've got days to split database on, so we've got this one here. Got 10,000 as the default. Moving down to step 10, we have default number of days. Again, it will be in the list here somewhere. I need to find that. So let's have a look here. The system parameter is called days to keep message event default, so which is this one here. I just go back into the installation steps. We have 14. The parameters default number of days to keep data body logged events. Let's see what we can, if we can find that one. Let's click on the documentation. Days to keep message data default. So this one here. We have a monitoring events as well, similar parameter. Which is here, we have set at 32. And then step 12, we have already seen was the one of the options that I mentioned about Active Directory previously. We can toggle that on and off. Again, with step 13, I added myself as administrator. It was in the previous on the previous page of the installation. And again, we've already we are reviewing configuration now. We've already started the service, the login service. That was step 15. And again, for the monitoring service, step 16. Just started running and online. So step 17, we have finished the installation of Nodinite. It's now up and running. So step 18, post-installation steps. We've got to check some system parameters here. IAM log access roles, and the same for the log service users, and some common errors that could occur. So once you've completed the post-installation checks, you can see here the details of the instance that we've just installed, and the documentation now suggests some steps to enable logging, to install and configure the log agent, and the same for the monitoring. So you need to install the monitoring agent and the logging agent to this instance of Nodinite. And I will cover that in a separate video.